All right, we're going to start off writing these equations, and we're going to use the form y equals ab to the x. We always want to start off with our y-intercept here. So I see it's right there at 0, 4. And so I'm just going to plug that in as an x, y. So I'll plug in the 4 for y. I don't know a or b yet, but I have a 0 for x. Now I know that anything to the 0 power is just 1, so I can change that. And so I know that a times 1 is just a, so a equals 4. The next thing I need is another point. And so I try to find an integer here. I see one right there at 1, 8. So I'm going to use that for my next point. So now what I can do is now I'm going to plug that in again for x and y. But now I know that a is 4, so I'm going to plug that in as well. So on this next step, the only thing I don't know is b, and that's what I'm trying to find. So if I want to solve this, I have my 4 multiplying by b, so I need to divide it over. And b to the first power is just b, so I'd say that b equals 2. So then I can write this equation as 4 times 2 to the power of x. So now I plug in my a and b, but keep x and y as variables. All right, next up, same idea here. We want to write our equation in the form y equals ab to the x. And so I'm going to start off with my y-intercept, and so I see in this case it is right there as 0, 5. So I can start by doing, actually I'm going to plug in 5 equals, I don't know a or b, but I'll plug in the 0 right there. Now once again, this means that 5 equals a times 1, so really just a is 5. And now I need to use another point here. And I see my next point is right there. At 1, 10. So I'm going to use that one, and now I'm going to plug that in as x, y. But then I'm also going to plug in my a value of 5, and now I need to find b. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and I get b equals 2. Since it's the first power, I don't really need to get rid of that. So I could say y equals 5 times 2 to the power of x. All right, next up here, I know that anything to the 0 power is 1, so I can actually turn that whole top into 1. I see that the parentheses kind of only applied up here, so that whole thing I can turn into 1. So then I still have some stuff on the bottom that I need to take care of. The next thing I would do after that is I would move all of my negative exponents, which means I would make p to the 5th, m to the 3rd, and q to the 5th up top. And I'm going to keep q to the 2nd on bottom because it was already positive. Then I need to battle these q's out. And I see that the top is going to win that battle. They're going to win by 3, and so that's going to be up top. And there's really no denominator. Or if you want to think of it as a denominator of 1, that's okay too. All right, next up here, I have an exponential equation. I need to first make them have the same base. And so I'm going to do that first. I'm going to make these both have a base of 2. So I can't really do 4 as a base or 8 as a base of 4, so I need to change them both to 2. So I know that 8 is 2 to the 3rd and 4 is 2 squared. And then I need to keep these exponents on the outside. And so now I need to multiply my exponents. So this one's going to be 9x. And then this one needs to distribute as 6 minus 4x. Once I have the bases the same, my next step is to drop the bases. And so then I'm going to set the exponents equal. And then I'm going to isolate x. So in this case, I'm going to add 4x over here. So 13x equals 6. And then I'll divide both sides by 13. So x equals 6 over 13. All right, now I'm going to write some more equations here in the form y equals ab to the x. We're once again going to start with the y-intercept, which will be 0, 2 in this case. It's right there. So I know that then 2 equals a times b to the power of 0. And so I know 2 equals a times 1. And so a just equals 2. Then my next point that I'm going to use, let's see what I can use here. I'm going to use this one back here. I'll use negative 1, 4 for my other point. So now I'm going to plug that in. 4 equals 2 times b to the power of negative 1. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So 2 equals b to the negative 1. Now, actually, instead of b to the negative 1, I'm going to write that as, actually, I'll show that work. So b to the negative 1 is really 1 over b. And so then I can multiply both sides by b. And I get 2b equals 1. And then I divide by 2, and b equals 1/2. Remember that this negative exponent doesn't make b negative. It makes it a fraction, which is how I did it. So b is actually 1/2. So I know my equation here is 2 times 1/2 to the power of x. This actually makes sense that this is a fraction because this means that it is decay, which you can actually see it is decay. It is decreasing as we go along. All right, next up here, we're going to multiply these, and we can multiply the outside times outside and then the inside times inside. You could put 80 there, but I always know on these ones my next step is going to be to break it apart anyway, so I usually just write them separately since it's helping me out to break them apart. Now I'm going to look for the twins. I got twin 2's, and I have a loner 5. Now I do need to bring down this negative 4, and then these 2's are going to combine, and then these 2's are going to combine, and then I have one loner 5 in the house. So this will be negative 8 times 2, which will be negative 16 times the square root of 5. All right, next up here, I want to rationalize the denominator. So on this one, I always multiply by the radical in the denominator. So on top here, that's going to give me radical 6. On bottom, it's going to give me 4 times the square root of 9. Now, whenever this happens, I should have a perfect square root here, which I do. So that's just 4 times 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. I cannot reduce this because I can't reduce inside with outside the radical, so I just leave my answer like that. All right, next up here, we're adding and subtracting, so I always think of this as combining like terms. So I'm going to combine these two, and I get 2 radical 6. What I'm doing there is I just add the numbers out front, so it's 3 and negative 1. I keep the inside the same. And then with my radical 2's, I have negative 1 and I have positive 3, so it's going to make plus 2 again, but now rad 2. I cannot combine those because they are different. All right, next up we're expressing this in radical form. So I know that the 1/3 power is going to be the cube root, or the third root. And so I'm going to look for third roots, so that's not it, nor is that. So it's going to be one of these two. But now I see that this is squared, which is what it was in there, so that's going to stay on the inside there. All right, next up here, we have the square root of x. Now, remember that for square root, it's kind of an invisible 2 right there. So when I do this, it's going to be 3 on top and 2 on bottom because it's a square root, so that'll be c. All right, next up I got some multiple choice here, so I'm just going to use my knowledge of exponents. So I know, first of all, that when you have the base is greater than 1, that's always going to be growth, and it's going to be increasing. So I know it's not b, and that's it. And then this plus 2 out back I know is shift up 2, which means the asymptote where it flattens out should be y equals 2. So I see this asymptote on option A is at 0, and so that's not it. This asymptote on C is at -2, so that's not it either. But on D, you could see it flattens